Welcome back, everybody. It's Rama from Junk Journal Divas. Hello, my friends. I am back again today. I'm going to be working on some more Valentine creations. Now, my last video, I talked about these are going to be for my Diva Delights, which is a monthly mail, happy mail thing that we have in Junk Journal Divas. And as always, if you're not in Junk Journal Divas yet, the link to the group is always in my video description. So Diva Delights is kind of a little thing that I do every month, and you can sign up for it if you want. And I really wanted everyone to be able to participate in it. So I am challenging myself to making something flat that I can mail with one stamp. And I want to do that. First of all, it's a challenge for me because I love bulky stuff, but I also want people to see that you can still participate in Diva Delights regardless of finances, and just send out happy mail that requires one stamp. So that's what I'm going to do today, working on my more Diva Delights to send out. In my last video, I made these cards. I'll put the link again to the digitals that I used. Well, these are what I have left. I already got some ready to mail out. I do have a couple more images from the package, from the kit that I need to use. So I have a lot to work with here. So what I'm thinking is I've got these bases, and I just took a piece of cardstock and cut it in quarters. Now here's just some die cuts that I did, and then I have some various papers here. I don't know if you can see, this was embossed. This is avocado dyed paper with a little bit of some distress sprays on it. And then I have some, this is like a homemade paper. And then I have some other ones here that I can kind of rub over with my inks so that that embossing shows up. And here's some that I did that to already. So I've got these things to add and layer up and play with. And I was thinking these I cut, this was a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper, and I cut them so that I have a little bit of the white border, because initially I was thinking of making postcards. So I think I'm going to kind of go with that idea and use these as focal points on top of here. So let's start with these. I want to kind of rub over it and get that embossed images to kind of pop. And I'm thinking that I want to just stick with, I'm just going to do the walnut stain. See what this looks like. So I'm just kind of rubbing lightly and going in both directions here. And I find it works better if you just do little small circles. So here we've got the before and after. So let that ink dry. Let me see if I do let's try vintage photo. I just re-inked this one, so you can see the huge difference. This is just really light. You guys, while I'm doing this, I just wanted to mention, I always have in my video description also a Facebook group, Tim Holtz and More Buying and Selling. I have all of the information in my video description also. But if you go to the albums and you'll see YANETTE. YANETTE will have an album with different things. So like one album will be all distress ink refillers. Another album will be, which we're also going to play with, the embossing glaze. I want to use some on the hearts, I think. So I always have her information in my video description. I just like to support my crafty friends. Her prices are a little bit cheaper, and I'd rather support my crafty friends than purchasing from Amazon or one of the places that I usually purchase from. So that needs to kind of sink in a little bit. So I'm gonna try something different. Let's try the gathered twigs. Yeah, this is better. So let this one dry. Okay, put my minis away. Okay, so I want to try to do the hearts with some embossing glaze, and I've got fired brick and I've got picked raspberry, this bright pink. Now this is kind of an orangey color, but we'll see what it looks like on top of this and see which one we like better. So I'm going to try both of those. And again, YANETTE has all of these, and I think they are $5 each. And she's got all the colors, an album with the glazes. And for this, I usually use my dauber, which is this guy. And it's kind of a mess, but you know, has the pad on the top, so you can just rub it on. But for these, I want to go inside the line here, so I'm going to use my embossing pen. So let's start with this boy. I guess I could use both. I could use the pen, and maybe I'll do that, and the dauber. That might be easier. And you can kind of see when the paper gets wet here. So let me actually use both of them because this would be a lot easier. Okay, let's try the fired brick on this one. So this is what it looks like. Now you could take a paintbrush or something and just kind of go around these edges. I'm not too concerned with this though, unless I have it in places that I don't want it. Okay. Now let's try the picked raspberry. And I have a feeling I'm gonna really like this picked raspberry. Now this one I am gonna just kind of, because it's on her face, so I'm gonna wanna get that off of there. Just a little bit here, okay. Okay, so now I am going to heat set this. So I turned the volume down because I didn't want you to hear my heat gun, but this is real time. So this is exactly how long it takes for the embossing glaze to melt. And I just wanted you to get a feel for that if you have not used the embossing glaze before. But this is one of my favorite mediums. I just love it. Okay, I like those. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these hearts. Now I'm speeding up the video here, but I just wanted to show a little bit more of doing the embossing glaze. Now you could layer up the colors, which I've done before, and it looks really cool, but it's very time consuming because you have to heat set one color and then go in with another color, unless you don't mind your powders blending together. Then you can kind of dump them both on there at once. But when you go to put the excess back into your bottle, of course, they're going to be mixed together. So I'm just heat setting these, and then I am going to cut these out. So I'm going to do some fussy cutting, but it's not going to be perfect. I am leaving a little bit of a border around the edges of my paper dolls here. And you guys, I also forgot to mention that these printables, the little kids with the hearts, this is a free printable from House Whimsy, and I've got her Ko-Fi account in my video description box also. Okay guys, so as I'm going here, I just had another idea to put a little bit of gold maybe around the edges here. So these are the lunar pastes, and I love these. They're great to use with stencils. They dry really fast, and I just like them. So I'm going to use this kind of like I would use a gold paint, maybe like acrylic paint, and just kind of use my finger and go along the edges. So let me move all this stuff out of the way so I don't get it messy. Now I also have this copper color, but I think I want to use the gold. So this is what it's like, just a paste. And I'm actually just going to use this cap. And then I'm just going to kind of rub. Kind of rub, and then I'm kind of going over the top part here. So if you can see that little bit of gold on the edges. And this comes in all different colors. So YANETTE also has this in her Facebook group. It's in a separate album. And then there's also solar paste. Now the solar paste, when it dries, it's basically like a glitter glue. Like when it dries, it's just, you see the glitter. And the glue, of course, dries clear. So that's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to give this a little bit to dry. You know what? Do we want to like... So I'm going to take a little bit more here, just a tiny bit, and I'm just rubbing it in the cap to kind of smush it on my finger. kind of rubbing a tiny bit more on there. Okay, then while this dries, I am going to go wash my hands. Okay, so now I'm going to glue these pieces together. Now, gluing these together, I find it a lot easier if I line them up first and then I lay it down, and I'll just carefully lift up one of the sides and glue that down first, and then flip it around and do the other side. If I put the glue on the one paper, the red paper, and then go to glue them together, it always ends up going crooked. So I find this to be a lot easier. And then I'm just going to take my messy towel and kind of wipe over, press down on that just to make sure that the glue is sticking. So then after I get these, I can go ahead and glue down my focal points. And once again, that is the free printable. And you guys, if you are in Junk Journal Divas with me and you go into our group albums, we have a whole bunch of Art House Whimsy free printables that are in the group. So just wanted to remind you guys, if you are in Divas, to check those out. So I'm just going to figure out which focal points I want to put on which postcard and go ahead and glue these down. Easy peasy. Now I still have a couple of those, if you remember the older ladies and the old men. And again, this printable, I've got the link for this in my video description also, but I wanted to use these, so I'm just quickly making some more parts to put together some more postcards for these guys. So I'm doing the same exact thing, inking these up. Instead of using the gold lunar paste, I'm just kind of inking around the edges of these. And then I'll go ahead and put these pieces together so that I can use these, have more Valentines to send out. And then after this, I can just add my sentiment to the front. You guys, I just had to show you what I did here. So these are my cards. I love them. I put sending you love on all of them because I just thought that's the sentiment that I want to say. And we've got our embossed hearts for a little shine there, our embossed paper in the background. And then I just put Happy Valentine's Day and I signed, and Diva Delight and the date here. So I finished all of these and I was just in the groove, I guess, the pink heart. So here you can see that gold. I had a couple of them, like this one did not have the gold. I just inked the edge. And here's another one with the gold. So I'm all excited about them. And you know, I have my envelopes that I put the stamp on the front, I stamped the back. I put these into the envelopes and glued all of these shut without taking pictures or showing showing the results. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I had to take my opener and cut these open. So now these are the envelopes I just cut. I took some of them out. I still have some that I'm not opening all of them because I did a lot, all of them pretty much. So when you get your envelope, it might have some glued on washi tape at the top. So this is one that I glued closed again. Can you believe that I did that? Oh my goodness, I swear. So I only took some of them out just to kind of show the results here. And now I'm like, I kind of want to let me see. And boy, did I glue them. Like I went right up to the very, very corner here. So it's really hard to even get in there. Okay, so here's one that I used that extra, some of those extra printables that I had. And I just have to laugh at myself because after all of that, I'm just opening all of them up again. I had to take some pictures, and yeah, so it's very happy mail because it's being opened twice. Okay guys, so anyway, I just had to open some of those up so that I could show you the different things that I did here. And now I can go ahead and take photos of them and reseal them. Oh my goodness. So as always, thank you so much for joining me today along with my bloopers. Stay tuned for some more crafty adventures. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. Let me know what you are creating for Valentine's Day.